Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bali Frequency Podcast. I'm your host, Bali Shah. If you follow me on social media or you've watched some of my previous episodes, I'm sure you've noticed that I always post something on Friday called Venus Day. And I realized I never actually explained why. So I thought today would be the perfect day to sit, have a chat, tell you what Venus Day is and why it's important to me, and hopefully inspire you to create your own ritual. Now, before we begin, I just want to say one thing. This is my perspective. You don't have to know astrology, you don't have to figure out your whole birth chart. This is something that has helped me become a bit more intentional with how I want to experience life. Traditionally, Friday is known to be associated with Venus, and Venus is connected to love, connected to beauty, abundance, harmony, values, relationships, and self worth. But honestly, I think the moment people hear Venus, they immediately think romance and soulmates and being swept off your feet and manifesting a partner. While I absolutely think that relationships is a big part of Venus, that's not the only thing. Venus is not about waiting for the right person or finding the right person to make my life beautiful. It's about learning how to create the life that I want that already feels incredibly fulfilling and beautiful before I find someone to share it with. And if I'm being honest, a lot of my life was spent waiting until I'm ready, waiting to take the opportunity, waiting until I have more money, have everything figured out. This is a big one, if you know me personally, until I've healed enough, until I realize, what am I waiting for? Why can't we just begin today? Why can't we begin now? And honestly, I think many of us do this. We have somehow convinced ourselves that we need to earn love. We need to earn worth. We need to earn the good things in life. And once we reach the next milestone, we'll finally relax, celebrate, and enjoy ourselves. But what if we're getting it completely backwards? One of the biggest lessons that Venus has taught me is life is about experiencing things here and now. And the question that I ask myself every single day, and so should you, is how do I actually want to experience life? And that's why every Friday has become so special to me. Maybe you'll resonate with it, and maybe you will just have one takeaway. Whatever it is, I hope that you are inspired to build your own ritual, as there is no right or wrong way to go about this. Every Venus Day, begin with one question. How can I make my life more beautiful today? I actually want to share a story from when I was younger, because looking back, I think that this perfectly explains what Venus Day means to me. When I was about 5 or 6 years old, we used to do camping in my backyard, and we would call all my cousins. At the time, my mom used to get those kits, the ones with the eye masks and the toothbrushes and the socks and everything. And so all my cousins got theirs. Every single one of them neatly tucked it in into their bag, into their sleeping bag, saving it for the perfect day to use it, or like a special occasion to take it home. And then there was me. Okay, I opened the whole thing. The next thing you know, I had like the sleep mask on, I put on the shoes, I put on that lip balm that comes with it, and I was just roaming the house as if I am on my luxurious flight. Okay. And looking back, I feel like the younger version of me understood that something that the adult version of me is still trying to take in. Why are we saving the beautiful things for later? Why are we waiting for the right occasion to wear the outfit or use the new perfume or light the new candle? And I think that story led me to one of the greatest lessons in life. Protect your spark. I genuinely believe that every single one of us has a spark, something unique, quirk. It can be the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you dance, the way you create, the things you get excited about. But somewhere between childhood and adulthood, so many of us have lost that touch from within. Honestly, it could be just because life happened. It could be someone made fun of you, someone laughed at you, you got into a draining job or a relationship, and slowly, you started to mold yourself into what society expected from you. I've also been there. And I've heard everything you could possibly hear in the book. You're too sensitive, you're too emotional, you're too much, you're too loud, you have too much of an opinion. And little by little, we just start editing ourselves. We stop saying what we really think. We stop dressing how we want to dress. We stop laughing as loudly. And we stop dreaming as big because we're being told to be realistic. Looking back at my life, there were lots of times when I felt like I wasn't fully myself because of the environment I was in, or the people I was surrounded with, or just that phase of life. And I didn't even realize how much I started shrinking until I stepped into spaces where I no longer felt the way I usually do. And that was my wake up call, because your environment matters. The people you surround yourself with matters. The conversations that you have matter, and the energy matters, because either they will make your life expand or contract and slowly begin to make you questioning yourself, your thoughts, your confidence, your identity, your reasoning, your morals, everything. And that's why boundaries have become so important to me. Boundaries are not to keep people out, but to protect the version of you that feels most alive. I am the cousin that is always overdressed no matter where I'm going, whether it's a coffee, whether it's dinner, whether it's karoga, no matter what it is, they know that Bali's going to show up, the full face of makeup, and her hair is going to be done, and it could be literally chilling at someone's house, but I'm like, you know what? I feel good. I like dressing up like this. And for some time, I wondered, and I did eventually do it, but should I tone it down? Should I stop talking so loudly? Should I just like be less expressive? And I said, no. I like fashion. I like dressing up. I like makeup. I like photography. I like the most random things. So why should I? Like, that's just me. I am multifaceted, and we all are. And at the end of the day, you need to do what's right for you. It's not about trying to get the attention from anyone else or get the validation, but it's getting the validation from yourself. That is when you are the most authentic, doing something that brings you happiness, that brings you joy, that brings your fulfillment and your purpose. People are going to judge no matter how old you are, no matter what you're doing in life, where you are in life. Like, people are going to judge. Might as well just be yourself. Some of the questions that you have to ask yourself at this point is, am I actually living, or am I just doing things for people's approval or society's approval or my friends' approval, anyone's approval? And am I just comfortable, or am I ready to grow? Am I ready to become a better version of myself? One of the services that I've been doing on myself is a signature frequency called the Sovereign Code, which talks about confidence, personal power, and boundaries. And no, it's not you come in for the session and that's the end of it. Like, it's something that you constantly work on. You have to do the inner work. And honestly, I have seen the biggest shift even in the past month. I started seeing myself differently. I became more aware of my friendship dynamics, of my family dynamics, of the relationship I had with myself. Where am I abandoning myself? Where am I overgiving? Where in my life is the give and receive not equal? The one thing that actually really surprised me is my ability to receive has increased ever since I've done this. So we all say we want love, we want abundance, we want money, we want opportunities, but are we really ready to receive it? If something drops on our lap, will we be able to hold it? That's the big question, because you can call in everything that you want, but if you're not able to sustain it, what's the point? That's what I've been working on a personal level. What is it that I want? Do I Why do I feel that I don't deserve this? How do I move from a space of wanting something to being in a space of receiving it without guilt? And these are the questions that really make me stop and think. We are all so used to giving our energy, giving our thoughts, helping others, fixing situations. And that is all masculine. But are we really in a space of waiting, receiving, being confident, having a more regulated nervous system to be able to call in the capacity of whatever it is we dream about? Venus has taught me Worth is not something you earn, it's something you embody. And when you truly believe that you are worthy of certain things, they slowly begin to gravitate your way. The way you see your worth changes everything. What you tolerate, what you say yes to, what you walk away from, or also what you're ready to accept. And this also changes the opportunities that show up in your life. How am I showing up? How am I showing up for myself, for my friends, for my family, for my work? Is it from love? Is it from obligation? Is it because I genuinely want to or I don't want to disappoint someone? And these few questions have changed the way I see life. Each time you honor yourself, you teach how people should be treating you. And that is how you start respecting yourself. You start pouring into yourself. You start filling your own cup. You start feeling more authentic, more proud, and more, I don't even know how to, you just start feeling so good about yourself. Okay, if you've gotten this far, you're probably like, okay, Bali, I get the idea. This thing seems pretty cool, but what does a Venus day actually look like? There is no right answer to that. Venus day is anything that you want it to be. It isn't about waking up at 5 a.m. and going for the Pilates class or the yoga class, journaling for an hour, buying the perfect handbag or the coffee. It's genuinely whatever brings you happiness. Venus day changes every single week. Some Venus days I buy myself flowers. If I want to get my nails done, I usually do it on a Venus day, like a mani pedi. If I want to get a blow dry, it's on Venus day. If I want to go for a solo date, it's on Venus day. Sometimes it's just having a slow Friday evening, catch up with my girlfriends, which can be either in person or over the phone if you're a long distance bestie with a glass of wine. But Venus Day is whatever you want it to be to make you feel more in touch with yourself. And one of the things through this practice that I've learned to realize is the importance of presence. I feel like in life, we're constantly consuming, we're constantly scrolling and watching and listening and playing, that we never sit and say, okay, what is it that I want? What do I want to do? Either with my life, my time, something that makes me happy. And you begin by pouring into your own cup. I want you to ask yourself, what would make me feel nourished today? Give yourself permission to choose that. Before we end today's episode, I thought it would be fun to share one more thing. Now, this is completely optional, but if you're into astrology or fashion or beauty, I think it's such a beautiful way to connect to your Venus sign or your Venus energy. Okay, I'm a Venus in Libra. So naturally, I gravitate to blush pinks, creams, whites, soft blues, anything that seems a bit timeless and romantic. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my phone so I can tell you what you can do depending on your Venus sign. So if you're an Aries, you are edgy and bold. So normally leather, denim, or striking reds. If you're a Taurus, you're more luxurious, cozy comfort with cashmere and silk in earth tones. Gemini is electric, playful, and colorful with mixed prints and bold accessories. Cancer is romantic, soft, and nostalgic, featuring pearls and flowy silhouettes. Leo, you're dramatic, you're regal and glamorous with metallic and bold prints. Virgo, you're polished, functional, and a minimalist with very tailored pieces. So I'm going to say Libra again, but if you're Libra, flirty, balanced, and aesthetic, using romantic and soft palettes. Scorpio is mysterious and chic, embracing all black, leather, and sheer textures. Sagittarius, bohemian, adventurous, and very free spirited with suede and fringe. Capricorn, sophisticated and classic, featuring tailored blazers and structured designs. Aquarius, avant garde, confident, and eclectic, mixing futurism and vintage styles. And finally, the last and not least, Pisces, dreamy, romantic, and ethereal with flowy, soft, teal toned layers. And you know what? If you're still not sure, just go and TikTok it. I do that all the time. You know, it's always TikTok and it's always Pinterest. Okay, this is a lot of yapping for one person. But before I go, I just want to leave you with one thing, the Venus audit. I ask myself these few questions every few weeks, and I always come to different answers. So if you're interested, you can sit with yourself and journal on the following. Am I speaking to myself with kindness? Am I allowing myself to receive support, love, opportunities, and joy? Am I pouring into everyone else's cup while forgetting my own? Do I feel guilty when I rest? Am I living according to my own values or someone else's expectations? What drained my energy this week? And what made me feel the most alive this week? Do the people around me expand me or make me shrink? Have I protected my peace? Have I protected my spark? Am I celebrating myself or am I waiting for someone else to celebrate me? And finally, what is one beautiful thing I can do for myself today? This brings awareness. There's no criticism, there's no shame, there's no guilt. And with awareness comes choices. And the biggest message is this: don't wait. Don't wait for the right moment until you're ready to wear the outfit and light the candle and buy the book and whatever it is. Just do it. Do it now. Document it. Take as many pictures as you want. Post it on social media. Don't post it on social media. Save it on your Google Drive. Do what feels right to you and light up the spark that you have from within. One of my favorite quotes from Grey's Anatomy that Meredith says is, "Don't let fear keep you quiet. You have a voice, so use it. Speak up. Raise your hand. Shout your answers. Make yourself heard. Whatever it takes. Just find your voice, and when you do, fill that damn silence." And so I want you to take this and do something special for yourself every single Venus day. And I would love for you to tag me so I can reshare and repost all the lovely things that you do. And that's it for today. Thank you for spending a bit of your Friday with me. Take care. Bye.